Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PSN review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Frogger Hyper Arcade Edition, which if you've never played it before, it's basically Konami's version of Pac-Man DX. I said in Pac-Man DX that I absolutely loved it, adored it. It's probably my favourite ever version of Pac-Man, and hopefully more classics will start doing it. And Konami obviously decided to do it. The weird thing is, it says for the 30th anniversary, 81 to 2011, and it's 2012. So I can only assume this got pushed back and wasn't ready when they were hoping it would be. But it's here now, and I'll be honest, I've been absolutely addicted to it. I can't stop playing it. It's amazing. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best version of Frogger. At the start, it's bare bones minimum. It's pretty much everything you need. In fact, it's more so because I don't need leaderboards, but some people do. Settings wise, you can choose the music volume and the sound effects volume. You can adjust the screen size. You can view your credits. You can adjust your controls. That's about it then. You can go to your gamma and you can view unlockable movies as well, which you get those by beating the challenges and that. And I don't know if I've got every one yet. I know I have beat every challenge, but I don't know if you get them for doing the other stuff as well. But they're just simple movies. When you go into the game, there's a hell of a lot to do. You've got Tile Capture, Battle Royale, Lady Frog Rescue, Paint, Twin Frogger, Classic Frogger, Frogger Freakout, which is a random, and then the challenges. The challenges, there's 20 of them. They're not overly difficult, which is just as well, because the main reason I bought the game is to play the Castlevania stage, and to get the Castlevania stage, you've got to beat every one of the 20 challenges. Good tip for pretty much anyone who's wanting to beat the challenges: if you're finding them a bit hard, actually start on the hardest ones, because every mode has basically you go easy, medium, hard, and then insane. So what I did, I started and beat all of the insanes, and then I worked my way from insane to easy up. And once you go from insane to easy, it's stupidly easy, then medium, then hard, and I didn't struggle at all once I'd got over the mind block of, well, I know these have got to be doable because I've beat the harder one. Anyway, gameplay wise, it's pretty much Frogger, but different things do different things. So I'm going to have to do a hell of a lot of cuts here to show them all off. I'm only on my own, so I'll be versing bots, which it's at least nice that you can verse bots, because some of the games are multiplayer, some of them aren't. So this one, you go in, you can choose your controls between Hyper and Retro, and there is a trophy for beating certain ones in Hyper and Retro. You can go around, choose one of your different music tracks, of which there's also a couple others which are just for specifically themed modes, like you get a Contra music for the Contra game, and you get a Castlevania music for the Castlevania game. This one though, Tile Capture, the whole point is you have to capture tiles, and you can capture your opponent's tiles as well, and that's pretty much it. You can get flies which do different power-ups, like for example that one that the computer just activated there gave us all inverted controls. There's flies that freeze your opponents, there's flies that teleport your opponents, but the whole point is to get a load of tiles. So let's just cut into the next mode. So this is Battle Royale. The whole point is a Lady Frog appears, you've got to collect the Lady Frog, and then you can squish your enemies. Think Pac-Man eating power pills and ghosts. And you've got a life limit, and the whole point is to just basically wipe out your opponent and get a good score. So, on to the next one. Well, this one's actually Lady Frog Rescue, and as you'd imagine, the whole point is you have to capture a load of Lady Frogs. It's one of those that the only other thing I can pretty much mention is you might have noticed the graphics are changing, where every time I'm changing the mode, that's not mode specific, it's that you actually get a load of different modes. So this is Retro, I've already been on Next Gen, I've been on Hyper, there's, as I say, a Contra stage, a Castlevania stage, there's a DDR stage, and I believe, I don't know if I've already mentioned that I've been on a next generation stage as well. So it's quite cool that you actually get a load of different graphical styles and loads of different music and that. Anyway, on to the next mode. So this one's pretty simple. It's paint. You're not allowed to paint outside the lines. So as you can see, I've got a pattern there, and if I deviate, then that's it. I lose a life and die. Obviously, if I get hit by traffic, I lose a life and die. So let's go on to the next one. This is Twin Frog. The whole point is you control two frogs at the exact same time, and they're a certain distance apart. On the challenge mode, there's actually it actually gets harder and harder, so you get further and further out, and it gets to the point that the only way to actually get to the exit is to go like exit 2 and exit 4, something like that, at the same time. That's that one though. Now I'll just move on to Classic Frogger and show off a bit of the music with the themed stages of Contra and Castlevania, because they are, as far as I'm concerned, the best two on the game. This one, I suppose if you're a huge fan of DDR, then you're going to like it, but I'm not, and I think it's very basic and boring. So that's a little bit of the Contra and Castlevania stage and the music. The reason I chose them for the music is that personally they are the two best tracks on the game as far as I'm concerned, and quite frankly there's too much music to actually, well, listen to all of it in one go, quite frankly, because there is a huge choice. The whole game is designed around having a huge choice in how you play it, down to the way that the controls work, the graphics of the game, the music of the game, it's just all sorts. The challenges, the only thing I haven't really mentioned is that there are specific things like, for example, collect all 7 frogs, because there's 7 beers on each level, so collect all 7 lady frogs and do it on insane difficulty on level 5, which there's a lot more traffic in that. There's things like earn 10,000 points on insane difficulty. There's things like collect 3 flies on insane difficulty. It's one of those. The challenges are pretty nice and they did fill a gap and I was enjoying them, but I'll be honest, they do get to a point where you just think, just give me the Castlevania stage already, so I can actually play a proper Frogger on the Vania stage. And the only other thing I can say is the Contra stage. I'm not going to say how to get it, just in case people class it as a spoiler, but I must admit I couldn't help but have a big laugh when I found out how to get it. And, well, that's pretty much all I can say. I suppose I should mention the only difference really between the Hyper controls and the Retro controls is, for the Retro you have to push every time you hop. For Hyper you can just hold the button down. Personally I think it's something that was needed, because while it does kind of make the game a little bit easier, the amount of times that you're just constantly bashing and you couldn't go fast enough, even though you think that you should be able to go faster. So I personally prefer the Hyper controls, and I think it works better with the pace of the game. And well, pretty much the only other thing I can say is, as you might have gathered by now, I absolutely love this game, I really do. It's something that, if you're a Frogger fan, then it's well worth checking out. If you're not a Frogger fan, there's a demo, and I still think it's well worth checking out, because they've done so much to it that you might now be a Frogger fan. It might convert you, because it really is an absolutely fantastic title. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games, because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid, or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe, because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.